start off, and there we go. Boom, we are recording now. So we got a couple different phases that we go through. We first start off live with Facebook, and then we make sure that where we are uploading to our different podcasts is also recording. And that's how we start our morning with Two Sisters. But good morning, everyone. It is Monday. We know what that means. We chat about it every Monday mindset on how do we really gear ourselves up for whether it's your work week, whatever you've got going, and how to get that really healthy mindset to make sure that you are meeting all your successes for the week. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss Lady Canna, live from a gloomy Vero Beach at the moment. It is rainy and thunderstorms with Two
Sistas. Hey everyone, good morning. My name is Janis, aka excuse me, Wellness Diva 5.0, and I'm just going to start out by saying I am fired up. When I get fired up, woo, you know I have something to say. But it is Mindset Monday. Great way to always start your day. You know, I love kickboxing. Everybody knows that. And how do you love to start your day, Kathy?
Oh, how did I like to start my day? Well, you know, it's so funny. You know, everyone has kind of different rituals that they have to get done, whether it's to kick off the day, whether it's to kick off the mindset, to help and wellness, whatever it may be. I literally have to start with making my bed. I always say that if I succeed at one thing, it sets the tone for the whole day. Now, a lot of people will look at making a bed as, well, that's not really, you know, it's making your bed, no big deal. But what it shows you is, and we frequently always talk about the little wins lead to the bigger wins. And it shows that, first of all, I don't know about you, and I'm going to guess most people feel pretty good when the night is over and they're ready to crash, that they just go into a neatly made bed. Not all people, you know, different strokes for different folks. But I would generally think most people do. So the first thing, like I literally cannot even leave the bedroom unless the bed is made, because I don't want to go back in and see it unmade. And actually that happened twice over the last month. You know, something, you know, came about, and I did not realize the impact that would have on me, you know, how I would feel internally. And it's almost like I missed a step of my day. Like for many people, what do you do when you're getting ready to go? You're taking your shower, you're brushing your teeth, you're putting on your makeup or not, you know, whatever it may be. So you've got like little steps, little rituals that you do to make you feel like you've met those successes and that you really like, I've kind of got a clean slate. I can get my day going. So for me, it has to be definitely making the bed, but I also love to do miracle mornings as well. You know, whether it's that, whether it's listening to some really calming music, reading a passage from one of my favorite books, just any of those little things to kind of give me that spark for the big day. How about you?
Well, I can't make my bed first thing in the morning because Gary is still sleeping. But when I get home from kickboxing, I have a little routine that I do. I get all my little chores done, making the bed, and, you know, getting laundry situated, all that, all that little stuff. And I apologize. I was just keeping an eye on if anybody is commenting on our Facebook page, and I see that there was a different method when I started signing on. It was totally new, which threw me off. So I had to make sure that I was posting to the right page, but we have closed caption. I don't know how that happened.
I love closed caption. And I think most people, it's one of those things that we take for granted. You know, hearing we take for granted, speaking we take for seeing we take for granted. And the truth of the matter is, we want to make sure that we're reaching all the masses. So I think that's a great option that Facebook is just that. Hey, you know, kudos to Facebook. They did something good.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that was through Facebook or if it was through Zoom, because Zoom was asking me these different questions and it was a totally different format. So that did throw me off. And getting back to Mindset Monday and what I initially said about being fired up, why don't we just dive into on why I am fired up?
Why not? Let's just really give Monday a kickstart, and that's right.
Well, I happened to catch I follow Dan Bongino.
Oh, yeah.
So as I'm waiting for you to sign on this morning, I see a post, I think it was from yesterday. I'd have to go back to the page and look at it. But I'm not sure if you're familiar with, I think she's a congresswoman, but I don't know for sure. Her name is Maxine Waters. Now,
Well, who doesn't know Maxine Waters?
Right.
You would have to be living under a rock if you didn't
Right.
know Maxine Waters.
Right, you would have to be, right? So, and I screenshotted something because I wanted to make sure. So Maxine Waters tells rioters to get confrontational if Chauvin is acquitted. Now, I'm not going to comment on the Chauvin trial. That's not why I am bringing this up. When Maxine and other congressmen, senators, they take an oath to protect, serve, and defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States. That is inciting insurrection. That is inciting people to protest, get confrontational. Why isn't this BITCH? Like, she should be arrested. That is my opinion, not necessarily my sister's opinion, because we haven't even talked about this yet. That makes me so upset.
Right now, I'm having a little giggles here because I'm wanting to see, because you spelled that out. I'm curious to see whether the closed caption picks that up. So keep talking. I'm just no, it did not. It gave it, but you did get 5 stars.
Oh, it did. Well, that's kind of funny. Here's the thing. I think as a nation, if we always have to incite violence. Now, I will say too, I am all for freedom of speech, even if I don't agree with you. In fact, we got a hate message this weekend, which I'd also like to address, which still kind of cracks me up. Even though I don't agree with somebody, I respect what you have to say. That is your constitutional right to voice your opinion. This is not Maxine Waters. You are not voicing your opinion. You are inciting riots. You are getting the masses going because you are instilling in everybody that if this person is acquitted, that you're going to be rioting and confrontational. Shame on you. You represent the people, you sorry, no good son of a bitch. There, I've said it. And that's how fired up I am.
I'm not sure if they're going to actually say that as well in closed caption. I'll have to keep an eye on that, because when you spelt it out, you got stars, you got 5 stars. And I'm assuming each star was for a letter of the word you were spelling out. What I have to say to that, you know, we've talked about so many different motions over the last year of what it's inciting in all of us. Sometimes it's goodness, sometimes it's, you know, anger, frustration. And what I really have come to terms with is that there is a clear disconnect with the people that represent the people versus the people. And we have some ownership in that. We all have ownership in who we elect into office. We have ownership into who keep getting reelected into office. So, you know, the buck stops with us as a people. Now, I agree with actually taking the oath. The oath should mean something. And this is not the only profession that does take an oath. Doctors take an oath. Lawyers take an oath. Any public servant takes an oath for the most part. And are they taking the oath seriously? Are they actually reading the words, digesting what they're swearing to, usually on a Bible, which is a holy book? Are they really understanding what the oath actually means and are going to stand and defend by it at all cost? And I think, sadly, they've strayed away from that. And as a people, we've watched it. This kind of tantrums, and they're bad tantrums, I'm going to say that, but let's take a piece of what she said. You know, if you don't do this, you need to do this. You need to like get mad and get in people's faces. It's kind of it's bullyish, if you want to use that word, but it's also going back to when you're being a toddler. You know, you're not getting your way. You didn't like the outcome of what your parents said. You may have asked a question, or they may have told you, no, you can't. So now I'm going to stop my feet and I'm going to have a tantrum until I get my way. This is an adult tantrum, but put her bad behavior, because it's bad behavior, put her bad behavior aside. We as a people are responsible for who's in office. Now, the flip side of that is, no, we're not in charge of, you know, an election. We as the people could demand that we want to make sure that our elections are above board and that are fair for all that enter and take that really prestigious, you know, very special oath of actually voting as a United States citizen. So we're not in charge. We could demand more, and we could make our noise be heard in a very calm manner to say we want to make sure that our election integrity is held above board, because I didn't vote for this person. I don't understand why this person keeps getting voted back into office. But put that aside, before really the last 12 months and even 4 years, what is going on in our country didn't just start a year ago, didn't even start when President Trump entered into the political arena. This has been going on for decades. And the people of the United States have an obligation. We as a people have an obligation of who we want to represent us, that really show and showcase and have integrity, that they're going to take that oath that they take seriously. So a lot of that, the rhetoric that they're really pushing right now, we have ownership in that. We voted them in. And it's really up to us to say, look, we're not going to tolerate that. You know, if we want to really be a country of two parties or multiple parties and show what bipartisan, it's got to start from the top down. But a lot of people have the misconception of who the top is. We, the people, are the top. And somehow that has gotten lost. Our Constitution has gotten lost, but we, the people, matter. And we, the people, have an obligation to our own communities, in our own states, to make sure that we are having people that represent us with integrity. Now, you may have somebody from the other side of the aisle that you decide, geez, I think they're going to serve me better. And that's okay. No one says you have to vote party line all the way. But you want to make sure that you're having somebody that's going to represent you in such a way that is going to show our integrity, our values, and it's not going to perpetrate violence and incite it. So while shame on her for doing what she's doing, it's not nice. There's no integrity, there's no goodness, there's no human kindness in what she's actually perpetrating, and really, from a verbal perspective, commanding. But it's still on we the people. So I think we the people have to get a little bit smarter, have to do our own due diligence, do not rely on what you're being fed, and understand that you are being fed from all sides. You have to do your own due diligence and get involved from a local standpoint. And I think what's transpiring is states individually are really saying no more. We've got, obviously, Florida has been in the forefront of, no passports, no this, no that. We are a state of good people, and we are not going to do those kinds of things. And I think more and more states, going into the whole, one of the executive orders that the current administration signed was about transgenders could compete in women's sports. There's a lot of states now that said, no, we're not going along with that. In our states, we go by their biological organs. And if you were born biologically a male, guess what? Go compete with the men. And, or, I was just chatting about this with our neighbors the other day. Actually, it was yesterday afternoon. An easy fix to that is if you identify with one way or the other, then have a transgender division. Now, a lot of people say, well, the transgender goes both ways, men or female. Okay, easy fix. Transgender M, transgender F. And there you go. And then you have all boys, all girls. It's not that difficult. And I don't know why they're making such a big deal over it. If we truly want all people representative of who they are, that's an easy fix. Just do it. There's no reason why you can't. It's not going to offend me if somebody, and I guess too, that's also a personal choice of we the people. Some people don't believe in that, but I love people, period. I don't care what their sexual preferences. I don't care what color skin they are. I don't care what their religion is. But I do have, I guess it all comes down for integrity for me. So for some people that would say, well, you don't really associate with people that are from one party to the next. That isn't true. If they've got good integrity and they have the same values, core values that I have, I'm surely going to be friends with them. But there are certain things for me personally that I can't cross. Like you can't have it one way for one and not for the other. If we're going to open up the can of worms of ick, let's open up the can of worms of ick and clean it out. And that's up to we the people.
We the people, we need to get somebody like that out of office. So moving right along. So the other thing that I had mentioned was we received kind of I don't want to say it was a hate message, but and I just want to say straight off, we love the fact that we're doing what we're passionate about, and we love doing what we're doing. We're not going to appease to everyone out there. That's not what we want to do. We want to provide value, provide insight on what we're passionate about, what fires us up. I think this is probably one of the first times that I've really, really been fired up and just, had to get it out there. We definitely appreciate all comments, even if they're ones that aren't necessarily too nice. And we did receive one, and it made me laugh. And I'm going to tell you why. If you're wasting that much energy to listen to a podcast that doesn't suit you, doesn't suit your needs, and you show no interest in, why not use that energy to create your own? So I want to thank that person for sending that message, because I was cracking up. Thank you.
I think those that have nothing, we frequently talk about the keyboard bully, and there are a lot of people with, when we talk about mindset, what fires you up, but also fires you up in a good way, but also fires you up in a bad way, right? So sadly, you do have people that feel very strong and powerful behind a keyboard and message. And the problem with messaging, I've always said this, the problem with messaging is you don't hear the person's passion in their voice. You don't feel their kindness, because you can't feel anything behind a keyboard. You really can't. You see words, but words are up for always interpretation. But when you're actually having that dialogue, the vocabulary, the communication, you hear the person's voice. And the problem with some people, now, if you're going to critiquing is awesome. Good, bad, or indifferent, critiquing is good. The difference between critiquing and criticizing is two different ways, because critiquing is always going to show you value on how you could do something better, how you can improve. And some people get defensive over that, and they shouldn't, because most of the time when someone is critiquing you, they're critiquing you because they see ways of improvement for you. And we're not all perfect. We're not meant to be, right? We're not supposed to have the perfect mindset, the perfect healthy body, doing everything correctly the right way every single day, because then we would be perfect. And there's no one in this world walking on this earth that I know of that is perfect. We are imperfect. And how we improve with our mindset, and one of the biggest things with mindset is being able to be critiqued. So if this particular person was messaging us and had, geez, I saw your podcast, you were talking about this particular subject, you could have gone in this direction. I find value in that. I find value in what all of our audience and our viewers, our listeners tell us, because that's ways of us improving. But you can't improve if you're going to go out there just for the kill of the anger. And that's sadly, when you receive messages like that, at first you're like, but a person that's very postured looks at it from a different perspective. I think both of us are very postured in our beliefs. We are very postured in health and wellness and helping people and being kind and having that message about paying it forward to people. That's the heart and soul of everything that we do. So, now when you get a message like that, you kind of crack up because it's not impacting you in the way that they thought behind the keyboard bullying their words, that it wasn't going to be received that way. So whoever this person is, what I would love to tell you is I'm going to throw it out there. We would love to have you as a podcast guest. Share with us what you think that we could improve on. We are an open book. We have always been authentically us, and we love that about us because we show, the flips, the flops, the camera's not in the right angle, or, if I happen to be on my cell phone, how many times has my cell phone fallen off the prop that it was being held up to? We are showcasing that if you have a vision, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you want to change your life, if you want to help others and impact them, then be authentically you. So sadly, I don't think this person was being authentically them. Maybe I always say too that I don't like to judge people because I'm not in their shoes. Maybe they're just having a shitty day, a crappy day. And, they took it out on us. I don't know.
True. And, speaking of podcasts, when we first started, I don't know if you noticed, but I started downloading because I wanted to go back in time when we very first started. We did our first one. It was actually May 3rd or May 4th. But anyways, I downloaded them and I uploaded them to our Facebook group. And the second one, I was cracking up because, the initial few days are like, oh my God, what do I do? What button do I press? And that was before we obviously started doing it through Zoom. And so obviously we have the video aspect of it, but we were all audio up until about, I want to say the end of June, probably is when we first started going through Zoom. And one of the episodes, you sounded like you were in a tin can, and I was cracking up. It was just so funny. So if you're interested in receiving, let us know. I'd be happy to, email it to you. And
a bloopers reel, because that is true. I mean, there were times when I would replay and I say, Jan, why am I sound like I'm in a tin can? And I do have, I naturally have a raspy voice anyways. I think it's from all my cheerleading and yelling years, which I'm going to be doing more cheerleading and yelling. Interesting enough, though, speaking of cheerleading, obviously it came out from an awesome week with the Winners' Choice Championships, a vision, such an innovative brand and product. And I love the people, so many great professionals that are really part of the staff to really showcasing something that is going to be really such an integral part of our industry and really helping those programs that don't necessarily travel, being able to compete live virtually from their own gym against other gyms that, could be in California, Wisconsin, Missouri, wherever they are. But I was chatting with some of the pros, and I haven't seen them in some of them. Well, I've been seeing them a lot lately through this particular season, but it's funny to hear how, things have changed, different or whatnot. And as you know, we've been talking about it. One of the events, which was a 2-night event, was the premiere, which really was the last stop for many programs going to the cheerleading worlds where you have to earn a bid. And we were chatting about that. Now, obviously, any kind of sport, let's chat about sports, any kind of sport, right? You're rooting or cheering or you're yelling and you're screaming, and, whether it's, football, baseball, whatever it may be, right? Cheerleading, dance, whatever, you're clapping, you're excited. Well, from what I understand, cheerleading worlds, which is being held at Disney, ESPN, Wide World of Sports, the fans of that particular team that's going up is not allowed to scream or cheer or yell. And I thought, that's kind of like a funny thing for especially, obviously sports, but especially a cheerleading and dance competitive event where of course mommy and daddy are going to be yelling and screaming, you go girl, you got this. I mean, coaches are yelling, they're they're timing things out, they're clapping to the beat, they're making sure that their team is on point with what they're doing. And it takes, for the athlete, from the perspective of the athlete, they live off that energy. They, that gets them, especially if you got a routine that maybe not hitting and they're struggling a little bit. Sometimes it's the energy of the crowd that gets them through that performance, that competition. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. Cheerleading Worlds, Dance Worlds is in early May. I think it's the second or third weekend of May. I've got to double check that. But I thought that was interesting. You obviously they're going to be practicing social distancing and the whole mask wearing, but not to be able to yell for your child. I just can't. I can't imagine an auditorium that's dead silence with just the team performing, with no one cheering them on. I don't think I've ever heard of that. So I thought that was
yeah, that's kind of unusual because, I remember helping you out with a couple of the events, and like it was so noisy, you really couldn't think, but then you got used to it. And I think if you're in that field and then there's no noise, like it must be kind of awkward, I want to say. I do have to step away for one moment. I will be right back. Okay. So Carrie.
There you go. That's all right. She's got to step away for a second. She's got to attend to a phone call real quick. But Monday mindset, how do you really set the tone for your week? Now, we frequently always talk about that actually Sunday is the first day of the week, right? It's not Monday. And Sunday, I utilize Sunday too. I'm going to show you. I love this particular planner. The make of it is, it's a day designer. And I'm telling you, not only do I put my appointments in there, because how many times do you write like things on sticky notes and you got sticky notes everywhere? That drives me cuckoo. So I put everything there. I even put my grocery list in there, and sometimes I'll transfer that out. But I write different things that my goals for the day. I'm always reading something that inspires me to kind of get me pumped up for the day. And like a day like today where it's kind of cloudy and gloomy and we have so much needed rain coming in, how do you, because a lot of people say this is typical curl up on the couch weather. I can't get motivated. I can't get myself in the game. It's Monday and I'm like, it's cloudy and gloomy. And I just can I just like watch, a whole season of, whatever it may be? You've got to create your own mindset, right? So I always say, shut off electronics for a little while, put on some great dancing music. Who doesn't get pumped up with some good dancing music? It's going to get you pumped up. It's going to give you some exercise, right? We all need that exercise, but it's also going to put you in that really good mood, especially if it's a good favorite tune. Or you can sit quietly, read a book, go back to, okay, what do I really want to accomplish today? And guess what? If it's gray and gloomy out, just turn some lights on. You can add some brightness to your home with just turning on some lights. Like literally right now, it looks like it's, I don't know, almost 8 o'clock at night. That's how dark it is here right now. Am I going to let that stop me? Is it going to let you stop you? No, I'm getting excited for things coming up and making sure that I'm living by my planner. But when you stay organized, you feel so much better. And that goes back to starting my day off with making my bed.
Yes, making your bed is the first thing that you do for yourself in the morning. Boom, check it off the list. And as I said, I have like a little routine when I get back, from kickboxing. It really sets the tone for the day and it makes you feel good about what you've completed. Because obviously, for instance, I get up very early. I'm up at 4:15. 7 o'clock comes around and I'm just, not that I have everything done, but I have all my chores done for the day. So it really is such a good feeling. It just makes everything run smoothly, and even when that pivot or divot may pop up, you feel like you've really accomplished something. And who doesn't want that good, really good feeling, the release of all those good endorphins? So what else is on the list for today?
I am, traveling diva this week, and I'm heading to Orlando for a few days, got some things going on there, and then I'll be back to this area midweek. Got some exciting things going on, and I love I love the fact that, we talk about that mindset and how you can really attract things that you're passionate about. And, John and I are very blessed in the fact that, I'm allowed to take part in things that really, really just put passion on my plate and want me to give back more, give back to so many different communities, help other people with health and wellness, mindset, cheerleading, of course. So I have to say that, I always kind of pinch myself every morning, and I'm grateful and thankful that I'm allowed to be able to participate. And that's why I chose, for many entrepreneurs, that's they choose to do several little different things, or, get involved with different, direct sales, marketing, a mom and pop store, whatever it may be. So they're working hard towards those goals. They get to that level where they get to pick and choose different things that really drive their passion. So this Monday, today, write those things down, put them out in the universe, have pictures up, do a poster board. It almost sounds like, ooh, poster board, I'm not in grammar school. No, you're an adult, but there's nothing wrong with an adult taking a good old fashioned poster board and writing those goals down, those affirmations, put it out in the universe of what you want to attract. Because as we talked about at the very beginning of our podcast about, certain government officials doing certain things, don't get so engrossed in that, because that's going to derail you from your positivity. You can't control what goes on there. And I think that's part of the frustrating part. So what can you control? You can control how your day goes. You can control what you listen to. You can control how often and how long you're on social media, because that's not always a good thing either. Go back to pen and paper. We always say that. Read a good book. And you don't even have to read the whole book. Read a few chapters. But make sure that part of your Monday mindset is getting you in that direction that is going to peel, like you're the onion, that's going to peel goodness out to other people. I know onions are sticky, but it's just go with me on the whole peeling thing because of the layers. I don't know if there's any other fruit that there's got layers. I'll have to think about that. Lettuce. What kind of lettuce is like lettuce? An onion is kind of stings. An onion's got that strong scent. The onion has many layers to peel back. So are you peeling back some layers to get to the goodness of who you are? And that's how I'm going to leave you with Monday Mindset. This is Carol Sue, AKA Naughty Boss, Lady Kiana, live from a little rainy Vero Beach. It doesn't even bother me. With two
Sisters. Hey everyone, it's Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. No longer fired up. It was so good to get that off my chest. Thank you for allowing me to share that with all of you. It is bright and sunny today. Looking forward to that and getting some other stuff done. Going over my morning mantras right on the board over here. Chirping bird. We hope you have a great day, and please join us tomorrow for our Tuesday Triumph. We'll be on at about 8 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.